guys. Welcome aboard to the morning. My name is Rose Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you now that the mic is on. I apologize that it was on mute. Let's go ahead and get started. It is February 5th on a Monday, 2024. Glad to be with you. A couple things. Watch this is up on the Discord channel for premium masterclass members. Weekly video put on the blog. Big shout out to Anthony, our CIO, for doing that video. Appreciate that because it was a different sense of perspective. I've been doing it now for the past 12 months. He used to do it for about 2 years before that. So again, to have him kind of go back and forth with that different perspective is nice. We also threw in a new podcast episode just for fun. Wanted to talk about Elon and Tesla. Wanted to talk about students that have joined Masterclass. Nick was talking about that, kind of different perspectives and expectations with new members. Kind of how he sees it. So again, that is on the blog. Some great content there. Glad to be with you. Let's go ahead and go around the horn. Dow futures are down 111 points. NASDAQ down 29 points. S&P 500, 49.65. The Russell at 1950. That's down 1% this morning. We do have the pre-market movers at the bottom. Let's go ahead and make this full screen. All right, here we go. 10-year Treasury yield starting to bounce. Jerome Powell spoke yesterday, not live, but on 60 Minutes. And basically, he was stating back that let's not expect a March rate cut. We're not expecting rate cuts to happen quickly. So kind of an easy, let's get easy, let's see what happens type of approach. I mean, did we expect anything different? This is just what it is. You know, it took them a while to really accelerate in terms of rate hikes as well. But rate cuts, in order for them to really get started on that, in my opinion, you need the economy to cool. And again, you need labor to pull back, meaning less people working, a spike in unemployment. That's really the only way I think that we're going to get any kind of acceleration in rate cuts. Rate cuts are baked in because Powell already stated that they're going to have 3. We're going to have 3 this year, minimum, I guess, because that's all he said. So I guess we'll keep that tally running in our head, is that we'll have 3 rate cuts by the end of the year. The crude oil futures are up 0.21%, 72.43 a barrel. Gasoline futures $2.67. Gold is down 1%. Silver's down 1.8%. Copper down 1% this morning. The dollar is spiking up 0.45%, 104.39. The volatility index up 2.6% at 14.21 this morning. Forex, again, the dollar leading the way. Euro dollar 45 pips down. Dollar yen down 9 pips. Dollar Canadian dollar up 46 pips. Pound dollar down 77. Bitcoin is up even with a strong dollar. Yes, we've been talking about Bitcoin. Again, we just need to crack that 44K level. Use that in the future as our support as we trek long to 50,000. 23.37 for Ethereum. 1.3% to the upside. Meanwhile, Nvidia is up 3%. Yep. Pre-market movers are scrolling at the bottom. Let's take a look at this market. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to the daily. And why am I going to the daily? Drew the couple of trend lines here. Kind of nice channel. Very, very, very nice. The question is now we're kind of at the midpoint. This is kind of a point where we can either go back to here, the 20-day moving average on the S&P futures, or go as high as 50.89, right near 5,100. So the question remains, when we have earnings, we don't have much in terms of economic data today. We just have a PMI number, which again, the market could definitely ignore. But in terms of what we can do now, it's really just a stock picker's market. Sure, you can always go NVIDIA, AMD, the regulars, the banks as well. Keep an eye on Tesla. That's a name I've been really talking about for a while. Break below 180.51. That's really the target. We got a nice little area to fill here. Kind of an air pocket here at 160, 162. So again, keep an eye on Tesla. There was some headlines out there regarding Elon Musk's drug use. That's why the stock is down. It was on the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. Looking at Qs as well, we traded this yesterday, Friday. And we were waiting for that break. We got in the money. I told everyone if they wanted to take it without any kind of weekend risk to go ahead and do it, win as high as around 20%. Told one right around 8 to 10%. Hey, if you want to take it here. Some did, some didn't. I'm still holding it. I have the 430 calls expecting us to pop here higher since we got really away from most of the earnings prints out there. The idea is to kind of see if we get the momentum on Qs as we expect to break 430.24 today. Again, looking pretty good out there. Yes, we're getting a little bit of a pullback, obviously, in terms of what Powell was saying, rate hikes and such, kind of cooling off expectations. Caterpillar up as well. Caterpillar on fire. Kind of tough one to chase, obviously, when you have a big SOAR job there. But you could see the 1 hour candle. I mean, what more can you say about Caterpillar? It's a name that we've talked about in years past. And at this point, you're really just watching it. Not much you could do there. Yes, it did pull back from the high prints. If there's any kind of volume, we'll keep an eye on it. But for the most part, rather quiet, really. Again, earnings are done. Fed Chair Powell already spoke. We do got some Fed speakers. But in terms of economic data, not much. Some earnings are kind of tapering off. We got some that are coming. Some names that are going to be in focus. We have Palantir after the bell. We had McDonald's that beat, Caterpillar that beat. Estee Lauder announced some job layoffs. They're up this morning. Spotify reports tomorrow, pre-market. So does Toyota. And then we have Alibaba on Wednesday, PayPal on Wednesday after close. So again, yeah, some names that are important, sure, that we're going to watch. But for the most part, the big boys are done. Those are done in terms of earnings. We got what we got. We got our guidance. Now we get to see where the pieces fall and where else can we go. Maybe Apple does have a little more to bounce after their earnings print. But again, we will see. Let's see. Amazon 175 calls to the previous high. Yep, that's the previous high, 175. If you break above 172.53, I'll place an alert there, and then we can target 175. Been a rather volatile one, as we know. See Tesla out of the SPY top 10? Probably not. I mean, it's starting to get a little oversold too. But again, if we start getting below 160, you would really need some really bad news on Tesla for that to happen out of the top 10 on SPY. We may be getting close, but we may be running out of gas too. The question is, does it hold 180? That's really the main level that I've been watching on Tesla. Let's take a look at Bank of America. Bank of America pulling back at 33.26. It's pretty much holding right at the 20-day moving average. You're between this channel here for the most part. Kind of quiet, but again, have that big but pulled back. Let's see if it bounces off that 20, gets above 34.66, so we can get back to 37 target. So we'll see if there's any volume out there. But for right now, it just seems that kind of a false breakout here, pulled back, and see if we can recapture 35. That's really all you're seeing. But in terms of what you're looking at support, it's got to hold 33. Has to hold. If not, then, well, no gaps to fill really until 29, 27. So there is a couple of gaps downside. So again, has to hold 33 today on BAC. Has to hold. Meta, absolutely just soaring. Snap, I just got a headline here. Snap to cut global headcount by 10%. So just that headline, probably Snap is higher. Meta again, meteoric rise, the biggest rise in a stock ever in post earnings in ever for Meta. Meta, I want to see how much it gained in market cap. I'd have to get that number. But 490 calls, listen, I know we can get excited on Meta, but at the end of the day, these calls are going to be really juiced and they're going to be very expensive. If you break 485, the ones that are going to get the most volume will be the 500s. That's the Goldman Sachs target on Meta. They just released that number. But absolutely on fire. Do you use Wyckoff? No, I don't. But that's where we are this morning. Again, getting a pullback. You can see tech not really affected. Down 0.19%. Really the thing that's propping everything up is really NVIDIA. NVIDIA up another 3% today. I mean, how high can this thing go? What do you think next? The 700 calls, round number theory? Possibly. But again, that's going to be expensive. So NVIDIA needs to have the conversation about stock splits if they really want people to trade their options. Same with AMD. AMD above 180. I was watching that the other day. If we get above 180.68, maybe we can keep an eye on the 185 calls. Buy some time on that one because this one may be a little choppy, Jeff, for sure. KRE and IWM puts. There was a lot on the tape for IWM puts for March 15th. Now that's our OPEX date, but we're bouncing off this trend line. If we can get below the 50 and settle below it, then yes, I would expect a little more weakness, maybe to around the 187 area. But it's holding up. It's holding up that trend line. That's the issue. It's just bouncing. We're at 192.36 currently. So again, right above the 50-day. That's what's got to hold. And if that breaks, well, then IWM is definitely going to be on our watch list. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and leave it there. Okay, they were saying the audio. So making sure it's comments and questions. All right, team, we'll go ahead and leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. I'll catch everyone else on the Discord server. Glad to be with you. New week. Let's make the most of it. And let's get that momentum back. That's what we need. Let's see if we can get some movement here. Have a great rest of you guys.